Hi, it's Elvin from the Mind Body Project. Welcome back. Day number 5 of the 10 commandments of depression. So these are the things you have to address to get out of this state. So number 5, thou shalt avoid inflammatory foods and skin products. So there's quite a few things I've got to say on this. Right, inflammation. Inflammation has been shown to cause dis-ease, systemic inflammation. There's around about 75% of you with walking around as that is your normal state, ready to catch any whatever disease. Yeah, there's diabetes, people with dementia, Alzheimer's, obesity as well, shown as well, heart conditions, cancer, systemic inflammation. Yet this is a massive area because we're having so many processed foods that it's just your gut, your microbiome, which are bugs that you have in your gut, that is causing issues, inflammation, especially with gluten as well. And what happens is it causes a let's draw this. So here's your stomach lining there, and it causes a little hole in here when you get inflammation, and bits of your food come into through here and into the body. So you've got little bits of food coming in, which then cause a problem. So it's called leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is like being associated with ADHD, anxiety, depression. So your gut health is a direct influence on your brain health, mind-body connection. Yeah, the gut-brain connection. And what the scientists have now found out, and what the researchers have found out, is that when you heal your gut, when you take away the inflammatory foods, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, when you take away those, then your brain is actually healing. So they're sitting there going, wow, I've been working to try and, I've given them probiotics and prebiotics, which are sort of good bacteria for the gut. And the prebiotics is just sort of like, it helps the probiotics, helps the bacteria, all the good bacteria grow even more. But what they're finding though, is when you're healing the gut, then the brain is actually healing as well. So because the gut is like another brain, because 90% of your cells are in your gut. Yeah, you've got thousands of bugs in your gut, and what you're eating is depending on what you're going to grow in your gut. Yeah, so what bugs you're going to grow. Some are good, some are bad. Yeah, but if there's an imbalance, of the bacteria, because they all have different things that they're going to be doing. If there's an imbalance, then disease happens. And the foods, because it's a regular behaviour, because your eating is such a regular behaviour, then that is something that needs to be addressed, because that is going to be a direct influence on your brain health. So things like brain fog, if you have that as a symptom, or if you're all of a sudden forgetting things, then this is a symptom of either leaky gut, or that there's something wrong with your stomach. Yeah, those are the sort of symptoms you're going to get, or tiredness or lethargy. So you need to be careful of those symptoms, because eating these inflammatory foods, let me just get to them, is going to cause problems with your, as I said, your brain. And this is what you need to work on. Now, let's talk about these foods. Right, what's going in our foods then? Inflammatory foods. Sugar, and especially high fructose corn syrup is in processed foods, especially the sweet ones. So anything to do with cakes, biscuits, sweets, anything really sugary that's not a whole food is probably going to have high fructose corn syrup in it. and that is a massive issue. Yeah, I know sugar is more addictive than cocaine. It's absolutely bad, but it causes inflammation. It causes some big problems to the brain. So if it's causing problems to your gut, it's causing problems to your brain. Yeah, depression. So this is what you've got to be aware of. It's same with sugary drinks. I mean, bottles of Coke. And this includes, by the way, the diet Cokes, the diet drinks, the diet sodas, that has got artificial sweeteners in. Artificial sweeteners still cause the inflammatory response because they cause insulin to go up. So people are having diabetes. The risk of diabetes is going up because they're still having the canned sodas, diet sodas, and it's still gone up. So you have to take all of that out. All the sugars have to come out. All the sweeteners have to come out. It's causing inflammation in your stomach, causes problems, especially with children, ADHD. Well, again, you're going to have a behavioural issue if there's something going on in your gut, if your brain's not working properly. Yeah, so that is why children can't concentrate. So anyone with ADHD, then you're feeding them. What are you feeding them? Yeah, what other things are there? Sweeteners, processed foods. I've talked about processed foods because that causes inflammation because of the processing. White flour. Now, there's someone called Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson who basically has her clients take out white flour and sugar. So she does like things with weight loss, and those are the two enemies that they have. White flour and sugar. It's like, no, because they have an issue in the stomach and the brain. Yeah, the gut-brain health. So that's another thing you have to be aware of. Your food does matter here. It's big. It's starting to become one of the biggest things out there. If you heal your gut, your behaviour, your brain, everything starts to feel better. And then what was the other one? So you've got dairy products. Dairy products, depending on where you get your dairy products from, and it depends from person to person. There's research to show either way. Some people say no, it's fine, but there's loads of research showing that it's not fine. Yeah, and for example, asthma. So you can take, one of the doctors called Dr. Michael Clapper takes out, if someone comes in with asthma, 100 people come in with asthma, he tells them to take off animal products, and 50 of those, asthma never comes back. Yeah, so that's quite a high lot though, if they're just taking out that. And then the other problem with the animal products is this. They are treating the animals so poorly, and they're giving them loads of antibiotics. So where do you think the antibiotics go when they're being in the animals? So 80% of the antibiotics in the country are going into animals because they're sick, and the other things as well, because it makes them weigh higher. But then they're making sick animals, and they're feeding you sick animals, and then what do you think happens? It all goes into your body, and that's why a load of people are having issues as well. And that's why, because of this inflammation as well, what happens? Food allergies. Yeah, because the inflammation is causing this whole, the food goes through, your body reacts to the food, so you have autoimmune diseases. And the other thing, I did mention skin products. This is the last thing I'll mention. But skin products as well. Whatever you put on your skin goes into your body. So if it's environmental toxins, so pollution, your skin products, you need to work out what's actually in those skin products, because that goes into your skin, causes inflammation. Yeah, so that is why you need to be careful. I mean, to solve the problem with these skin products, you've got good companies out there like creating stuff that is actually good for the skin, things like creating makeup and things like Arbonne are doing that. So just have a look at those type of companies, or otherwise, if you're putting it on your skin, then there's a massive issue. I create, because I make my own, I have macadamia nut oil, and then I put in essential oils to put on my skin. So that's a lot better for you than putting anything out there from whatever companies you usually buy. You need to know what's actually in these products. So that is a massive area I've just spoken about, but you have to be aware that inflammation is going to cause depression, yeah, and anxiety, and autism, and ADHD, and dementia, and Alzheimer's. It's a massive, massive area, and you need to look after what's going into your gut. So you need to be eating fruit and vegetables, more of that.